For the past few years, I have been an online teacher at a public charter school. I've always been the teacher that brings creativity to the classroom. Along with being creative in the classroom, I've worked as a science teacher to bring technology into daily activities. This mainly came in the form of handhelds and other gadgets. The past months at Full Sail have helped me to identify several Web 2.0 tools to bring to the classroom to use without necessarily using special gadgets. Within my first months at Full Sail, I was introduced to the concept of an action research project. After taking a look into daily engagements of students and teachers, I was able to identify a problem. My school had a website, but its primary function was to give information about the school and serve as a place to register for school-sponsored field trips. There was also an online forum that had just launched. The drawback to this was that it was accessible to teachers and parents only. Students did not have access to the forum. I wanted to create a space for students to actively engage in school-sponsored clubs and activities. It was in education, design, and evaluation class that I learned about educational social networks such as NIG. I also worked with a great team during this class to develop a professional development module for teachers. This led me to realize a social network for student clubs would not only benefit students, but it would greatly help teachers who serve as club sponsors as well. At this point, I had a focus and was ready to delve into current research. I focused on online students, how participating in extracurricular activities affect online students and social networks for cyber learners. Social networking would serve as a setting outside of the LMS, allowing students to build relationships with teachers and classmates. Research has shown participation in extracurricular music activities were positively related to math and English grades, as well as math test scores. Online learning only may present feelings of isolation if virtual classrooms are not considered. Students may not be aware of the activities of other students that work online. Individually, students write notes, search for literature, find relevant websites, and they write assignments. If students are expected to learn cooperatively and to collaborate with others, then the activities of other students are relative to learning. It would have been great to complete my action research project without running into stumbling blocks. In training and motivational development class, I worked to create a survey based on a Ning training module for club sponsors. Days before the start of my proposed first cycle, Ning announced that they would no longer offer free Ning websites. Therefore, I needed to find an alternate plan for my research project. Once again, I was back into the current research to see what other social networks were being used for online learners, and well, the research pickings were slim. This actually encouraged me because I felt as if I had the chance to contribute to the research in this area. Through discussions and assignments in musical theory and education applications and filmmaking principles in education, I settled on creating an Edmodo group for my school's clubs and activities. With this, I was able to begin cycle 1. I introduced a small number of middle school teachers to the site with an interest survey and a one-on-one short tutorial. In the survey, I questioned the use of Edmodo and whether it would be a time saver for teachers as well as a useful tool for club sponsors. The first survey was cycle 1. I needed to find out what ways club sponsors thought were ideal to disseminate information to club participants. Information was already being distributed through a school newsletter, and some sponsors used brief telephone calling posts. The responses that came in were clear indicators that incorporating technology such as Edmodo would benefit students as well as teachers. One teacher noted using the school's web-based email as a method to communicating with students in the clubs. This would prove difficult as there was no way to set up a distribution list, and each student's name would need to be searched in a database of over 6,000 other students. By using Edmodo, a sponsor could send a message to all group members with ease. To complete Cycle 1, I met with the participating club sponsors individually to preview the clubs and activities page along with the Edmodo tour for teachers. Course management system. The second cycle had teachers working with Edmodo the process of to set up groups for their specific middle school learning management system. Club sponsors needed to first sign up for Edmodo. Then they would be linked as a co-teacher within the site. So students and teachers will not have to resort to be sent to the students participating in the club. If club sponsors and students were able to join directly into the LMS enrolled in our school and access their extracurricular activities to plan, schedule events for the clubs, plan posts, polls, and files to share for the upcoming meetings for the fall semester. As a final note, the first set of brick and mortar walls are torn down for cyber students. It is so motivating to see the potential of the Edmodo site, and doing so would open up so many avenues to students club sponsors that would otherwise of setting up a virtual club fair where all students can come to view more information about the different clubs within the school. Not only does the Edmodo site add technology to the middle school, but it gives students and teachers a place to belong and to communicate with others so they do not feel isolated. This project was just the tip of the iceberg in helping to develop a better communication system for the school clubs. Within courses such as LMO, I was able to see the role of the course management system. Looking deeper into that and viewing the process of designing and selecting a learning management system, I can only hope that one day the school is able to add a social networking feature, so students and teachers will not have to resort to an outside source for clubs and activities. If club sponsors and students were able to log directly into the LMS and access their extracurricular activity, I believe student participation would increase. As a final note, the first set of brick and mortar walls are torn down for cyber students. It's providing a portal to share club information, and doing so would open up so many avenues to students that would otherwise just stick to their lessons.